So how in you guys' opinion can we impact more people with God? How can we reach more people and help them achieve a better level of understanding?
Well, I think that's a real tough question. You know, that's one of those things where, you know, in a perfect world, you would like everybody to treat you right and treat other people right. Like it would be common sense to, it would be common sense to treat people right, and you see somebody in need of help, like you help them, or, you know. But nowadays the world becomes so corrupt. It's like it's almost endangering yourself to try to help somebody else. Like, you know, you stop and try to help a homeless person or something, and they might try to, you know, I don't know, do something to you, or you might try to help somebody in your family, and they might try to, you know, do something behind your back. And so it's like you want everybody to treat people right, but it's like the honest truth is that's not gonna happen, because the world is, you know, I wouldn't say it's corrupt, but it is. Like, it's like the fallen man is rough, you know. And I think as much as we would love for everybody to trust God, love God, follow God, live the way He's supposed to, like, that's not gonna happen, you know, unfortunately.
Mr. Bergmann, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know, I think of Jesus saying, you know, you need to be wise as a serpent and innocent as a dove. There is this, starting with be the best version of who we are, and couple that with wisdom in knowing what you're dealing with. I have dealt over 30 years with the marginalized, the people on the edge, homeless. We have a homeless shelter I've been involved with for 23 years here. And it's a holistic approach. It's not just one thing. For me, a lot of my work has been involved with those who suffer from mental illness. And the lack of proper mental health care in this country, healthcare in general, is one of those components of, to me, that's how you introduce people to God. You treat them like humanity. You treat them with the assets that you have available to you. Mental health is ravaging this country, and it's ravaging families, and these are people who need help. And so there's got to be a lot of changes in the way we address that. And a lot of the police killings have involved people who have been in mental health crises, and they're not equipped to handle that. And we have got to use 21st century thinking and technology and non-lethal means to help people who are in mental health crises, instead of just putting, you know, 7 bullets in their back. We can do better. I have no doubt that we can do so much better than that, but we got to want to do better. So for me, introducing people to God, for me, isn't so much about even speaking a word about God. It's about helping others and healing them. You know, some people are just broken. You can't, you know, it makes no sense to sit there and try to argue with an alcoholic when they're full blown in their disease and drunk out of their minds. It's not going to work. You know, the first step is maybe helping them get into rehab. You know, I got a guy right now that I've been helping for many years, and he is a great dude. He's an amazing guy, but he's a vicious alcoholic. And when he slips, man, he goes from having a job, an apartment, a girlfriend, a great life, into living in the woods, homeless. And so the last time, you know, and I've helped him get into rehab and halfway houses. So, and I know his mom well, and the resources are limited, but he needed to dry out. He needed to go somewhere where he could not have access. So you know what this poor guy did? He committed a crime so he could go to prison, so he could get clean. I swear to God, he's in prison right now, and he's doing really well. He is in prison, But that was his rehab program because there's nothing else available. Man, if we want to talk about God, we got to talk about how we can help other human beings in illness, in poverty, in even in wellness. I mean, there's got to be something more. Like successful people I talk to many times, and so many of them have really no purpose in life. I mean, they've hit it all. They got the nice car, the big house. They got a 6-figure income. They go on vacations, but they still have like this emptiness inside of them. And it reminds me of Ryan Leaf. You know, they got to have that epiphany of like, wait a minute, my life is not about me. It's about us. And how can I help the us around me? And realize that unity that you get with humanity and others, and that joy you get when you can help fix something that's broke. You know, there's the Jews call it the tikkun ha'olam, the reparation of the world. We all get involved and realize our purpose is to be part of the reparation of the world. And then you realize what life is all about, man. And you get that Ryan Leaf story where you see this guy who was just the most selfish guy in a prison cell, now smiling and helping other broken people and living his life to its fullest. He is 10 times the man today than he was when he was the first pick in the NFL draft. 10 times that guy. And that's what it's about.
For sure. I think it all starts with understanding as well. You have to understand where a person's coming from, what a person has went through in their life, black, white, Hispanic, and anyone between of those as well. I think it's understanding, just seeing where these people have come from. It starts with walking in their shoes. And Elvis said it best, walk a mile in my shoes.
Yeah. Zach, what you said is absolutely right. And that couples with that notion, understanding and using wisdom, because it's easy to judge people. You know, you can get into the judgment mode quickly, and you need to make judgments. I mean, you need to make discernments, and you need to be wise. But it can take a lot of like racist people. Okay, so there's probably nothing more that is a thorn in my side than to meet a racist, and I can immediately go from 0 to 60. And very easily in my own self come to a place of judgment and hatred. But if you sit down with a racist person and you actually get to hear their story, it may not change the fact that they're racist or that you can maybe even do anything about it, but it'll give you understanding, which gives at least an opportunity for some compassion. Because most racist people that I've ever met and talked to, they weren't born racist. It wasn't like this was a condition that was, they had in the womb. They were in an environment. They were raised in a way that made them think this broken way. And in some ways, you could say they were just victims. They were born into it and victimized and turned into something that perhaps they would never, ever have been had it not been for the environment that they were raised in. And then when you see who raised them and you talk to them, you find out the same thing there too. And again, this at least, that understanding at least opens up the possibility of having some compassion so you can have dialogue. Because otherwise you're just pissed off and you want to strangle them or punch them in the nose. And that's more, that's the real me. I'd rather here's a Nazi, let me just punch him in the face. But if you sit down and try to do better, try to go a third way, that's the thing that Jesus, I think, has shown me is a third way, not just this way or that way, but a third path of trying to understand, open up communication, have some empathy. It doesn't mean you agree yet, but you understand why they are who they are, and then you can begin perhaps to have that dialogue and create questions that they can ask in their own mind.
This concludes our episode today, folks. We greatly appreciate the support. And if you're not a subscriber yet, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to get all our up-to-date content. And if you like this video, hit the like button. We greatly appreciate it. We welcome you back next time.